Cancer, and thank you for joining me. This is your reading for July 2016. I'm very happy to bring this for you, and I hope you are doing well. I have a few things to share with you just before we begin. I have a contest that's going to be running through the whole summer. All you need to do is watch one of my full-length meditation videos on the meditation channel, which is linked somewhere in the About section or through the pop-ups that come up. Watch one of those videos. Anything that's over half an hour is fine. And comment and subscribe to the channel. I will pick a contest winner from among the people who have subscribed and have commented. I'll probably pick two winners, one at the end of July and one at the end of August. And each of you will get to choose a reading with me, either a oracle painting, a year preview reading, or a 1-hour consultation. So you'll get a choice which of those you'd like. If you like the soundtrack that I'm playing in the background, that's something that I composed, and it's the background for the meditation that I'm currently making, and it was sponsored by Crystal, so thank you, Crystal, for that. Also, I received a gift after requesting you guys to connect me with someone who would sell me the purple border Margaret Petersen tarot, which is out of print, and I think it was only one printing. Anyway, one of the viewers, a friend of mine, Kim, purchased the deck for me on my behalf. So thank you so much, Kim, and you guys can thank Kim as well, because she is the one who made this reading happen. And yeah, but please, if I ask you guys to connect me with a deck or some other resource, don't feel obligated to purchase it on my behalf. I was simply asking for a connection. Having said that, thank you very much, Kim. So today's reading, I'm going to use Tarot Resum. Resum is the deck that I used in the 2016 preview reading. These cards are beautiful stained glass, and they are cards 22 arcana, so they're good for themes in your life. This reading in particular is going to be based around the High Priestess. So in the High Priestess card, we see a black and a white column nearly in all the decks. The black column represents the shadow, and we'll read that shadow with the purple border Margaret Petersen deck. So this is the card that I just cut is the star, so that's a good omen. And in the light, we see the light border Margaret Petersen tarot, and here we see the Fool. Okay, and so this deck is not about, this side of the deck is not about darkness or evil or anything negative. It's simply the shadow, and this doesn't just mean good, it means simply the light energy. Okay, so I'm also picking from these wooden blocks. They're First Nations blocks, they are not runes. And so I'll pick one. So far I don't have that many of them. I have most of the ones that are on sale. I'm still waiting for the rest to come in from the supplier. But these have little messages on them, so I want to pick one for you right now. So the message is respect. So this is the second time I've pulled respect. So here is the card, or the little stone. And now to complement this, we will pick a card for Tarot Resum, from Tarot Resum, for you guys. And thank you to everyone who's joining me. I know it's early 8 a.m. Oh, if you guys are interested in finding more about this reading and the Taurus reading before this, then I'll be speaking about that at 10 a.m. on the Veroosh Live Vlogs channel, which is connected in the About section below. So I'll be talking about Cancer and Taurus today. Okay? So I'll pick a card for the Tarot Resum. And now we'll pick a card from, or 10 cards from the Margaret Petersen deck. So far we've already got the Star and the Fool, which means that a lot's going on for Cancer. New beginnings, soulmates, all sorts of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this represents the shadow, and here we have for the light. We'll move these out of the way. Only saw the top of the cards. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's begin the main part of the reading. Oops, I already saw the bottom end. So we'll start with the light because I had a peek. But at the center of the reading is death, which means change and transformation. This can mean the end of something, Cancer. This is also the sign of Scorpio, and so Scorpio becomes very important for you in your life. Whenever Scorpio people come in your life a lot, that really means a significant end is coming, an end to something or an end in a relationship. They're the ones who bring you through death, both mortal death and figurative death. But the death can here represent a variety of different things. This death is centered around the idea of respect. So this can mean self-respect, Cancer, moving forward in a respectful manner towards other people. Now make sure that you have been respectful to others, or you will stand accountable for that right now, especially with the death card being here in the center. So that's a significant omen. So now we have respect and the death card. And now we're going to take a look at the light. So I already had a look at this, which is the 7 of Feathers. The 7 of Feathers represents the 7 of Swords, which is being selective with the energy that you are using, applying yourself and removing yourself from situations that are less than becoming to you. 7 of Feathers is ruled by Moon in Aquarius, so it's this kind of open-ended dialogue about what you want, and being really flexible and able to choose and select which direction is most applicable to you, which direction it fits you the best, which option is the best one for you to choose at this time. There's a lot of thinking about which way to go as the changes happen. I think the change is probably motivated by the shadow, more so than everything that's going on around you in the light. However, I think that this is a huge transformation if we are getting this card in the center here. Let's take a look at the underpinning here. So we have the 5 of Cups, which is disappointment. So there's something that has not met its expectation. You're looking for some kind of celebration, joy, happiness, a robust, fun experience, but what you got was just very simple. What you got maybe was love, but you were looking for a broader experience, and so therefore it didn't meet your expectations for whatever reason. At this time, this is prompting you to make some changes and go a different direction than you had planned. So this is really about letting go of things that didn't work out and being selective and know what you want. So for example, if you only want to marry someone who has a beard and the person that you have met doesn't have a beard, then maybe you have to make that choice and select for yourself a different route, a different course of action in which you are exposed to people who have beards. So move up to Canada in that case. That was just a funny analogy, but there's lots of men who wear beards here. It's kind of like the lumberjack syndrome. You can have them. So anyway, so in the shadow, let's begin again with the shadow. I just flipped this one over first because I mistakenly had a look at it before the reading. So here we have 5 of discs. I love this 5 of discs, by the way. So this seems like the shadow is a call to action for you, Cancer. A call to action to connect yourself with other people on a deeper level. The 5s represent some kind of disconnect. An adjustment needs to be made in order to make things functional. It's not the end of the road. Basically, you're being brought to, the awareness is brought towards things that are not working right now, and it's up to you to adjust your disposition in those situations. On the one hand, there could be an emotional disappointment in which you feel as though you wish something had matured a bit more, had flowered a bit more for you. But then there's also this quality, the 5 of discs. Now the 5 of discs in relationships is far more difficult to manage, because especially if somebody doesn't like someone's physical appearance or physical qualities, then that's very hard to change. Yes, we can say go to the gym and exercise, but people don't change. Heavy-set people typically tend to stay heavy-set. Skin and lean-bodied people tend to stay that way. And I know that people can change their health and fitness qualities. However, I think that most likely the amount of effort that it takes, the amount of commitment, it's not functional for the majority of people out there. So when you're experiencing some kind of frustration with regard to physical components of your love partnership, be it monetary or actually in the physical realm, like body issues, then these can be quite difficult because they're very hard to amend. And a preference is a preference, supposedly. I don't really agree with that. I think it's what we tell ourselves. But the 5 of discs is saying that there is some kind of need to come together for physical purposes. There's a requirement there with regard to physical purposes to amend these expectations that were not met or somehow not accessible or haven't been achieved. So here we have in the light the Son of Feathers. Now the Son of Feathers is the Knight of Swords. This guy is fun. He's very smart. He's very astute. He is a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. He's a very smart young guy, but he has the tendency to be a bit rash. And Cancer, at this time, you have that chance as well. So you may be a little disappointed in your personal life in the shadow. And from the shadow, you could be dealing with a lot of issues of feelings and self-confidence in particular. You're willing to make those changes out of self-respect for yourself, recognizing that some of these things can't change, and it's only your attitude towards them that really can shift and give you immediate results. But on the outside, you have a challenger who's coming in, somebody who's ready to challenge your new burgeoning disposition. You're on the brink of that change, and so you're very, very vulnerable to suggestion or to questioning of that. Whenever we make drastic changes, people come up who can say, well, what do you mean? What does this represent? Where are you taking things? And so the Son of Feathers is suggesting here that maybe as you are trying to redefine what is valuable to you in the world, somebody comes along and says, hey, wait a minute. On the other hand, you might work yourself up so much, Cancer, that as you change your opinions about things, as you change your expectations with regard to relationships and other situations, you pick up speed and you become the Knight of Swords or the Son of Feathers. and you push forward with your own ideas with such speed and conviction that nothing can stop you. So in that case, the Son of Feathers can be extremely potent and powerful card to get because he has so much energy behind his actions. Let's see what modifies the Five of Discs. So we have the Ace of Swords, which is my favorite card in this deck, I think. Ace of Feathers. So there is some kind of communication that is really stirring a lot of these emotions and a lot of these things. It can be an email, it can be a letter. There's some kind of provocative message that is evoking out of you thoughts about these topics. Maybe this is the way that you deal with them also, by communicating about them and opening up your shadow and connecting maybe with your partner's shadow or with the other people involved. This is a great way to address disappointment by talking about what your expectations were, how they weren't met, and where you would like to see things evolve to. So the Ace of Feathers allows you to communicate with others, but also expect communications to come to you requesting your help and your assistance with circumstances. You may be choosing to let go and to disassociate yourself with those requirements, and then moving forward and trying to redefine what you're looking for. So it was a learning step for you in what you need and what you're trying to achieve, Cancer. The second modifying card is the Daughter of Discs. So here we have the Daughter of Discs. So this is the seed of a new idea. This is the seed of a new physical beginning. Remember, the Daughter of Discs is very much like the Ace of Discs. And so with the Five of Discs, together we have the Six of Discs, which is success. So you're really on the step of some real success. There may have been change in home or change in work, and this is all facilitating a change in disposition, a change in circumstance associated with physical, tangible things in your life. You may have begun working out, you may have begun a new job, you may have just thought of a new project to take on in order to achieve a goal or some kind of success, right? So this is all being motivated by a great disappointment you've experienced in your life, and a disappointment that maybe in July you're willing to let go of. So you have been functioning in order to achieve success, Cancer, but I think your motivation has been from the negative end of things, deep down in your shadow, your great disappointment, which is a hard thing to motivate you to achieve, because whenever you're motivating yourself from a place of lack, then it's very hard to build up energy in order to fully establish a strong plateau of success. So when you're doing any kind of manifestation, magic, or actually just practical work, when you're coming at things from a position of inferiority, you're going to have a harder time in achieving that than when you approach things from a position of authority and strength. So maybe in July, Cancer, you're letting go of this inferiority complex and allowing yourself to move forward. And by doing so, you may have to change certain belief systems about yourself, or maybe possibly change certain goals that you have for yourself. And when you do so, you'll be able to rise and break through. Next, Cancer, you guys will be happy to have this. So you have the Nine of Cups. And so the Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card, so you will achieve what you had wished for. Everybody who's watching now and anybody who's watching later, you can write your wish in the comment section, and then as you write your wish, everybody else who is reading that wish can wish for you and with you. So we all join together in forming our wishes, regardless if you have any placements in Cancer. So there is some kind of fulfillment that is coming true, and this is once you've made that change in choice, Cancer. You've made that change in choice about who you are and about what your expectations are and about what you need. And I think that's coming from a deep-seated place of respect for yourself, and you're understanding what you need for you And by understanding what you need for you, you're moving forward in order to establish strength and prosperity in new directions. The next card is the Mediatrix. So this is art and temperance. Cancer, this is the sign of Sagittarius. And so, of course, in July, we still have Saturn in Sagittarius, and I believe Mars will be in Sagittarius as well soon. So this is going to be a heightened area of your life. You want to take a look at where Sagittarius is in your personal chart. You will see that fulfillment come through. Also, you may find yourself exposed to a Sagittarian person, someone who is helpful to you, who is helping you resolve circumstances and mediate. This is a beautiful card to have after so much transition is going on, because the Sagittarian art temperance card really allows to blend experiences. So consolidate a bunch of different experiences and make them consolidate into a new synthesis, a new outcome, which is going to produce the outcome that you had sought out, the outcome that you had wanted for yourself and those around you. So these 3 cards here talk mostly about the beginning of July, and you will see yourself go through these kinds of feelings and emotions, and also manifest for you maybe a Sagittarian person, or maybe an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini person who come into your life and help you to move forward and really take hold of what it is that you want. Okay, so now we're looking at the middle of the month. We have the 3 of Swords, which is the 3 of Feathers. The 3 of Feathers represents a heartbreak, and this is really an intimate position in this reading. This is really talking about what's going on in the shadow, in your personal space, within yourself. So there was some kind of communication that caused you to take a look at yourself. Now, we often focus about how heartbreak or heartache happens outside of us, but sometimes we are the inflictors of our own heartbreak, which means that maybe for whatever reason you had felt as though you were not able to meet the financial or physical qualities of something else, of someone else, and that motivated you to break your heart. Now, you may have broken your own heart, but that's also a compass point for you in which you can identify which way you want to go. If you have broken your own heart and you're feeling sad about a situation and disappointed about how you behaved in it, this is the time to change. You have the ability to change your path and say, well, you know, I figured out what matters to me. I figured out what makes sense to me, and now I can change my path and make for myself what is necessary, make for myself what is abundant, and go in a direction that will be prosperous and successful for me, where I will feel happiness, where I will go after the things that matter to me, not complicated situations that I am not prepared for at this time. Or maybe you can choose to go back to that relationship, particularly if you're in a relationship with the Princess of Discs. So this can be a man or a woman. It could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn person, or it could be anybody who's very physically oriented. You may choose to renegotiate that relationship by having the hard conversation that you were avoiding to have. This is going to liberate you to move forward in new directions and consolidate things and find synthesis in your life. The 9 of Flames is the next card. This has a lot to do with how you relate to the world in the shadow. So you're separating yourself in some way from the world at large. You're finding a secure space to exist in. And while you find that secure space to exist in, you lull yourself into complacency. You lull yourself into a position of comfort where your active engagement towards other people is not required. This is going to allow you space to figure out where you want to take things, where you want to see things go. I think you have a lot on your plate to do with money and financial issues, and so you are working out for yourself which way to apply yourself, which way to go. At the center of the reading, you'll be very happy to find out we have the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups is promising you prosperity, optimism, love, relationships. So even though there's all these hard realities to think about, at the center of things, there's this happiness and joy that is there for you, Cancer, that you are able to address any heartache through and build together in a new direction with a lot of prosperity and hope. Remember, with the 5 of Cups, there's always the 2 of Cups left over, which means that there's always love present. It may not be the same kind of love that you were hoping for, but it is love nonetheless, and you should never feign love or affection, because it's very, very sparse in this world. So if you have love, you should find that joy within your heart to recognize that you've been given a gift that is very special. And so therefore, this overcomes any physical worries or physical limitations, self-doubt that you may have. It also heals a broken heart. So we'll be very excited to see what happens in this last week of July. So the next card is the Fool in the light. So you're definitely taking a different path or a different direction. On the one hand, you're finding synthesis for the oppositions that were in your life, and you're bringing them forward to create something new. But in the undercurrent of everything, you have the Fool, which is breaking you off in a new direction completely tied free of anything of the past and moving forward and being excited to move forward with a lot of prosperity and fulfillment of your dreams. The next card that I have is the Mother of Cups. So the Mother of Cups is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Cancer, this is you coming into your highest vibration, feminine vibration. This has you as the mother, so if you're waiting to be a mother, this is a wonderful time. But this is also someone seeing that in you and bringing that out in you as well. So there's that quality of perfecting you or bringing out in you these qualities of understanding, compassion, and love. And I think that you'll be coming to realize just how powerful a change in perspective can be. So just by changing your viewpoint about self-respect a little bit allows you to move forward and have very validating experiences. Also, look out for a friendship to come through that will be very nurturing and supportive. This could be a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio woman, someone who is giving you eternal support and care. At the center of the reading, we have the 5 of Flames. So there is a little bit of upset and disequilibrium in your circumstance. I think this really correlates with the 5 up here. This means that you're a little bit nervous, you have a few things on the go. You may not see where everything's coming through all the time. Just remember, you're making fundamental changes in your life and you're letting things go. So even though you have a lot of opportunity, this will be somewhat tainted by all the transitions you're going through because it'll leave you a little nervous. Cancer really doesn't like a lot of change. You can do it, but it can feel a little bit disorienting. So allowing yourself the time to settle in and to embrace the new opportunities that are coming for you will really help you along at this time. Okay, so let's take a look at the last row of the shadow. The first card is, again, we have the 5 of Flames. So this is the 5 of Wands, the same card that we have. So there is this tentative nervousness. By the way, when we have 4 5s in a reading, and I know these are 2 separate readings, but 1, 2, 3, 4, it really suggests a great stability is being reached. So you are moving towards some self-awareness. The idea around that is that there's so much volatility that's going around that you become so flexible and open to change that you yourself are able to exist within those 5s and be like, okay, well, I can handle this. I can handle all these changes and flux. This can also be motivated as you're really working on that heartbreak that's still with you. And so don't worry about the fives. I think that the fives represent a lot of opportunity for growth, and really taking a honest look at your circumstances that motivates you to change, that motivates you to not make the same mistakes twice. Your friends and family in the situation, we have the Emperor. So your father or a husband, or possibly an example or a mentor of patriarchy, is your friend who's helping you identify a sacred space for yourself. Your home is your friend as well right now, Cancer, so you may feel as though you're really pulling into the home and finding a lot of rest and security there. I think that this is very pensive. This is a lot of you in your own mind rather than interactions with other people. Yes, there's communication there, and then there is some kind of back and forth that's happening. But at the center of this, you're spending a lot of time within your own space and within very good company with your husband, possibly, which is the four, the Emperor, or possibly just within your own business and your business associates. This is maintaining health and happiness for you, so I would not advise you to go in any other direction. The next card is the Death card, so we have double death here. And I think this is what you hope for, but also what you are afraid of. I think that the Death card represents for you your greatest ambition, in that you just want things to be a lot more simpler, a lot easier going, and a lot more easy to let go of, just to move on. Having said that, I think that it's very much connected to apprehension, because at the center of everything you found yourself truly happy. And so therefore letting go of that is daunting and can be overwhelming at times. The last card in the shadow is the Seven of Wands. So this is saying that at the end of the day, you're going to really decide for yourself to stick up for what you believe in, and to stick up for yourself in the opposition of whatever you've been presented with. So I think that you need to stick up for your core values, and you'll do so in the light by manifesting what you feel most connected with and moved by. July may be a hairy month for you, Cancer, because you might feel as though there's a lot going on, that you have to manage a lot of these 5-level energy things. There's a lot of 4s and 5s and 3s on the table, which really signifies that you're not at the end of the situation. You've already begun, you've moved into the center of the circumstance, but yet you're not still completed in the cycle. Yet you still decide that you will be honest and virtuous in the situation and move forward authentically. And I think that once you settle on that disposition, once you settle on that idea, then you'll feel very confident, and that will feel like a natural path for you. With regard to the other part, we have the light. We have the 9 of Feathers. So this is your mind kind of breaking down and finding grief. I think it's hard for you to draw these lines with people, and as you move forward, there's a lot of self-doubt that gets involved in your choice making. You may feel as though, you're pushing forward and you're just kind of disconnecting yourself from something else, and that's true, you are, but you're doing so for virtuous reasons. You're really doing so after a deduction has caused you to feel that this is the best way for me to deal with this. I would not say make any harsh decisions or any harsh choices in July, Cancer, but go with the flow and follow through with what you believe in your heart to be the right path. Even if it's hard on you financially or intellectually or even emotionally, if you wait out this period of instability and questioning, at the center of everything you do have happiness, and you do have the Emperor on your side. So you do have all these really wonderful qualities in the shadow that are going to persevere in the end while the fives quiet down. So basically, the fives need to take a rest, but you have to let them run their own course. And so by allowing them to work their way out, at the end of this, you're going to stick up for what you believe in, and that's going to manifest success for you. What's going to happen for you in the light is that there's going to be a disconnect. You're going to be very, very much drawn into the shadow in July. And you're going to think a lot about what motivates you, who you are, and what is of value to you. And that's going to motivate you to make a lot of changes. Those changes are going to be hard on you. There's going to be a lot of opportunity and hope that is happening around you in your life. But you're going to be questioning which way you're going and how it applies to you and how to take best advantage of it. So the next card is the Daughter of Flames. So this is the catalyst for fire. So this is the fire muse. She's actually come up for other people. So this is a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries woman. Someone who really wants to infuse the situation with a lot of spirit and hope. So I feel as though you become really good friends with several different women. And these women are very supportive to you in your path. This can be someone who gets you out of the house and gets you through your Nine of Swords. I don't feel this Nine of Swords is something that's going to debilitate you severely, Cancer. I just feel as though you're coming to terms with all this change and coming to terms with what it means to stand up on your own 2 feet and go a different direction, regardless of what people around you are trying to influence you to do. The next card is the Father of Coins. So this is the King of Coins. So this is who you're hoping to be, or you're hoping to come in, who you're hoping to come in and intervene in the situation. This could be a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. This could be someone with significant financial wealth. This is someone who is not looking for financial wealth or agreement. This is someone who is great at management and influencing circumstances. You're also kind of afraid that this is what you're becoming, that you're becoming too financially dependent, that you are becoming too financially oriented, and that you are going in a direction that is quite different than who you are. In the ultimate scheme of things, it's not just one event that will cause you to be that way. It's a series of choice making, so you'll have to make that choice. And if you keep making that choice, then you'll become that. But if you choose to be loving and embracing and helpful, then you'll go in that direction. The outcome is the Six of Cups. So this is finding gratitude for relationships. This is also a decision to go back to a relationship. So this can be the breakdown of your defenses as you choose to go back into a relationship after realizing that you separating yourself from this is not working for you. So maybe there was a relationship with someone that was very special for you, Cancer, that you broke up with or separated yourself from. And now you're coming to the realization that you've gone the wrong direction, that you've gone a different direction. And in July, you'll come to realize that you need to change and you need to have respect for your feelings rather than what people around you say. So there's a theorist called Judith Butler, and she writes a lot about homosocial relationships. And homosocial relationships are kind of the relationships that we have within our gendered groups, right? And the influence that those gendered groups have upon us. So for example, it's the approval that we get from our girlfriends in order to choose a partner. The approval we get from our families in order to get a partner, like our mother if we're female, or our father if we're male. And so maybe if a man is not up to par financially, maybe the family or the friend group looks down on that and trying to support you. But going through this whole process, Cancer, maybe you're coming to realize that his financial status is not something that is a priority for you, and that being apart from them is causing you to feel really uncomfortable. Not heartbreak, but uncomfortable, and you're missing and you're agitated and frustrated by their lack. And by the end of the month of July, you may be ready to kind of have this breakdown within yourself and let go of the expectation and move forward in a relationship with them. So Cancer, I hope you guys, and remember that Pluto is in your 6th house, so those kinds of things can be coming through, in which case you will have friends who support you in these new directions. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading, Cancer. If you're interested, then come join me at 10 a.m. PST at the live vlog channel, where I will break down more information on Cancer and on Taurus, which I read for at 6 a.m. We have 2 more days of these live vlogs in the mornings for July, so come join me. I think I'm doing Pisces, Aries. What else haven't I done? I've done Libra, Gemini, I think, and I'm missing someone else. I'm so sorry. I always miss one. Aquarius? No, I did Aquarius first. Anyway, and Capricorn, right. So over the next couple days, I'll do those. They're very close together in terms of views. If you are one of those signs, check out your moon rising, maybe Venus sign for love, or maybe check out my channel for my videos for June and even the last week of May. Maybe they'll give you some perspective. But I can't wait to read your guys' cards for the oncoming month in July. Give me a like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below about what your wish is, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Cancer. Bye.